Guys, super excited to do this video today. To a point. I'm only excited because I get to work on the Gen 3 1000, but I'm not excited because I got to take parts out. So probably about a month ago, I installed a snorkel kit, or a stealth snorkel kit. I started to put all that stuff in. I made a video, I posted it, and Billy from Monteverico commented and said, hey, good job, but it's not good. It's not right. So him and I went back and forth a little bit. Basically, what he was saying is that my outlet tube was too small and it's going to cause overheating issues. The man does this for a living. He knows way better than I do, so I'm going to have to trust him. So I replied to him like, hey, if it's not right, help me make it right. So he got in touch with his good friends at Hiisi Products, and they sent me this. I have got the cold air intake and then the CVT outlet, all in one kit. They call it the Low Snorkel Kit. And I'm going to take this and we're going to put it on my 2025 CForce 1000. It's going to be awesome because this right here, these tubes are much bigger than the tube I had in there. You see that? This is the one I had in here. This is the Hiisi one. So I guess I'm going to have to trust that that is the right information, because common sense says that's the tubes that Hiisi have are much bigger than the ones that I had. We already started working on it. We got it stripped down a little bit. We got everything off. I have got the snorkel kit that came off. I took it out of right there. We got plastics unbolted. We got everything we need. All right, but we're gonna go through this whole process step by step and show you exactly what we need to do to get this into that with a little bit of a twist. I'm gonna do a stealth snorkel, all right? I'm not gonna do a traditional snorkel, which has the tubes out, you know, with the tube sticking out. If you watched the last video, you understand I don't like that look. I don't like the tube sticking out and all that kind of stuff. And Hiisi kind of made that go away by adding this right here. This part right here goes up onto here like this and makes it so you don't have any of those tubes and all that. This is all the inlet stuff. And my outlet is going to be a little bit different, all right, than how they have it set up. So we're going to get into that. We'll go step by step on the entire installation process. We'll follow the directions. We got 2 different books here. I'm going to add a few different things. I do have some tape here. We got a little silicone. We're going to add a few more steps in there and see if we can turn it up a little bit, because the major issue that I had was water getting into my clutch box, into my CVT box. That was pretty much why I was doing this. I'm not a giant mudder. I don't try to bury this thing up to the handlebars. It's not my jam. That's not what I do. But I was having an issue with water getting into my clutch box, and I don't want that. So I made my snorkel kit. It wasn't good. Billy from Monteverico commented, and he's right. I don't want that issue. I don't want any more issues. I just want to be able to get on my machine and ride. So Hiisi Products sent me this. Thank you guys. It's awesome. We're going to take this, do it the right way, and put it in this bad boy with a little twist. This is my twist, and we'll get into it. So according to Hiisi's directions and the booklets that they gave me, you've got to obviously take off all the plastics. You take off the seat, back seat if you keep it on. This has got to come off. Side plastics on both sides got to come off. Your dash needs to come off, because if you don't take this, we got to cut right here. You don't want to damage this screen, because this screen is super expensive. This thing is like 30 bucks. This is way more than $30. way more than $30. All right, so that's step number 1. They also want you to disconnect your master cylinder reservoir. That's the word I was looking for. You got to disconnect that because you got to get in here. I have a little bit of an issue with my setup. They actually want you to take this piece out completely right here. I can't do that because I got wires all connected in through here because I got my aux beam light control is down in here and it connects up into here. So I got wires and stuff in here. So I'm going to keep it. Eventually we're going to have to try to figure out how to work on it while it's in here because you got to do some cutting. But step number one was to take that out, take all the plastics off, take the seat off, take the plastics off, and then remove the original CVT outlet, the tube that came up in here. I already took it off, obviously, because I had my stealth snorkel kit, and then I actually had to go back in and re-put back in that connector right there. See the round connector down inside here. I had to put that back in. A little bit of a bear to put back in. Now we have got to put in this part right here. We got to put this part in right here. So now this has to meet up with that part in there. I think I might actually, I don't know, I'm going to try to put this in because this goes inside. So this is a male part here. That's your female in there. This goes inside there. You got to clamp it down. Directions say do not over tighten. All right. I might actually take that out, back out, and then try to put this in because I would like to seal this. I might throw a little JB Weld high temp seal on it, and then one of these hoses, the longer of the hoses, connects to that part. They also give you all sorts of stuff in here. It was like Christmas morning. They give you some tape. They give you some hose connectors. They give you a bolt. This bolt actually goes on the bottom of your air box to block off the little drain down there. But they give you the heat tape right here to go around your hose because you're real close to your exhaust right in there. But step number one, well, the step we're on anyway, I think I'm going to take that back off. We'll take that back off and then try to get this part connected to it. All right, so I got this back together here. We're going to put this in. So this is pretty much basically that. This from Hiisi replaces what I built right there. This seems better than that right there. I'm going to install this just to make sure everything fits, and then eventually I'll take it back out. This is, it seems like it's a 3D printed product. It went in here very, very tight. You cannot torque it down. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. No, yes. Okay. Don't torque it down. You'll break this. It went in here really tight. So it's probably pretty water sealed again, because that was my issue. I was getting water into my my CVT box. So we'll try to put this back in here. This, I tell you what, this is not awesome to try to get back onto there. It's not awesome to get back on there. So we're going to fight with that for a little while. You guys can watch. It'll be fun. All right, so we are going to get this part here that I put together back down onto the clutch box outlet. There's no real good way to do it other than just kind of jam it back in. One thing I do notice is that you're very, very close to the exhaust. Exhaust is right here. That's why they give you that heat tape. I'm going to put all this stuff in, and then I'm going to have to take it back out because I want to seal it up. I know I could do it now, but then I'll get silicone all over the place. So you guys enjoy watching me struggle getting this back on, because this is not, it's not fun. Enjoy. We got it in. I discovered something. Two things. Number one, this and this, those are the original hose clamps that came on it, because this is the original boot, right? That it came on the four-wheeler, and then you just take the plastic piece off, the plastic snorkel that sticks up here. This is the Hiisi products bit that you put in there, all right? The other thing, put this part back in. Don't take it out. Leave that in there. Clamp it down. It's a 7mm socket is what I used on that one and this one. You can also use a straight screwdriver if you're feeling froggy. Keep this in here. All right. Then this part will slip right in. Don't try to take it out, because you'll never get it back in. It's a nightmare. I took everything out. I'm sweating. I don't know what it was on GoPro camera time, but it felt like about 315 hours to get it back in. That's if you take it out. If you just put this back in, it took me about 30 seconds to get this back in. So that's in there. I'm going to take a little bit of my red silicone and put it around here. This seal seems very, very good. But again, the issue that I was having was water getting into here, and I don't want that to happen. I think Hiisi made a good product here. It more than likely is sealed, but I'm trying to prevent all the stuff from getting in there. So I'm going to add some red silicone around here just to prevent, and then we're going to put the actual snorkel tube, the hose on here. So I'm going to put silicone, and then we'll put the hose on. We got that in, we got it siliconed up. Now this is not a recommendation by Hiisi. This was me, this was mine. Not that I don't trust it. I think it was completely sealed. I think it was on there very, very well. This was just an overstep by me. Something I wanted to do. It's not in the instructions from Hiisi or anything like that, but this is just me being overly paranoid. So we added that. Now we're going to be putting on the tubes. Now, according to the instructions from Hiisi, we did that step right there. Now we're on this one. Now we have to use the install the outlet hose, the 75mm, and use the heat tape. So these hoses, there's 3 different lengths. Now that one, that's a short one. This is the medium one, I think. Yeah, so this is the longer one, so we're going to be putting this in. They gave you the hose clamps, so we're going to get the hose clamps out of here and the heat tape, and we're going to wrap this in heat tape and get the hose clamps. And I also have some Flex Seal tape right there that I'm going to be putting on this as well. Again, this is me being overly paranoid about getting water into it, because this was the whole point of me wanting to do this thing, just because of all the water that, well, the couple times I got water in my clutch box, and it was just not, it was not good. So me being overly paranoid, I'm well aware, and I'm okay with that. This is not a Hiisi thing, not in the instructions. This is me just being a psycho. That's what it comes down to. According to the instructions from Hiisi, this is actually supposed to be out when you do this step. I can't do it because the way I have wires run for lights and switches and whatnot. So I'm going to attempt to do this while it's in here. But they want you to cut out this entire section, this entire corner. They want to take completely off. I want to keep a little bit of structure if I can, if it's possible. I know I need to take a large majority of it. I don't know if it's going to work the way I want it to work, but I'm going to attempt, because I already got the hole in here. So I'm going to cut right here and right here just to get enough space for the hose. They want you to put the hose in first. I'm skipping the step. I'm kind of going a little bit backwards. So I'm going to cut here, and then it looks like I'm going to, I want to keep that bolt hole here. So I might cut this whole section out where I put the hole, because you gotta get past, there's wire connections in here and all that stuff, and the hose got to come in up and through here. So I think I'll cut down in here, and maybe some of this out too. So We got my roto zip, and we're gonna go to town. So now that that's cut, looks like, yeah, I definitely got enough room to get this down in here. That'll fit nice in here so I can get that connection done. It's supposed to come up through here. Oh, look, I got silicone everywhere. I got silicone everywhere. Now we'll cut. I do have to take a large majority of this out because of the hose that needs to go through here. I'm gonna start by cutting here and up here. I want to get this section out right here. I want to try to leave this, give me a little bit of structure, because this is where your seat goes, right in through here. Nope, that's not going to give me enough room to get that up in there. Got that clip out. I'm going to try to follow my line here and get up as much as I possibly can, leaving a little bit of structure. Looks like I might be able to, yeah, if I follow my line here and come up into this bolt hole and up in here, I might be able to squeeze this in here doing that. So we'll try doing that. Yeah. All right, so that looks like I clipped that enough. I'm going to sand that down and get that all nice and neat so it doesn't, you know, break through the tube or anything. It's good solid tubing, but that's just me, again, being a crazy person. But now we do have this in here. You got a block in here you got to take care of. Big square section, so we got to get that out of the way. We'll come over here and cut it from the other side. Again, Hiisi wants you to cut this whole section out. They're probably 100% correct on what needs to be done, but I'm a crazy person, so I'm just doing it this way. So as you can see, we got this all cut out here. I didn't do the recommended cutting that's in the instructions. They're telling you to take this whole corner out. I can tell you 100% that would have been better. All right, it'll give you more room to get everything around. I personally don't like it just for structure's sake. I think that there's enough room in here. I had the pipe in here a bunch of times to be able to get things where you need to get them, because this is gonna fall somewhere in here, and then things will sort of kind of go back together where they need to be, and the pipe will be, you know, in its spot somewhere in there. And I think that'll be okay, because there's another connection that goes right here. It's actually the secret sauce of this whole Hiisi low snorkel kit. I might have to do a little bit of trimming on this right here. Might have to take just the edge off. But we can wait until we get that all on. But now we're going to connect the hose down in lower, down to where the pipe was coming off of the CVT. So we'll get back into that. We're down inside here now. We're going to run the pipe to where it needs to be. I am just going to put this on here. I may, like I did with the silicone, run some tape down around inside, but let me get the pipe down in here where it needs to be and see if I can get it running around, because I still have to put the exhaust, or I'm sorry, the heat tape on it, the heat shrink tape, or I'm sorry, the heat tape on it. I got to put that on it yet, but I got to get this to be where it needs to be. It helps if you kind of work with the curvature of the pipe. Looks like it should be right in there. Got a hose clamp. They supplied the hose clamps for you. It comes with, actually my kit came with 4 hose clamps, I believe. Got all sorts of stuff. Hose clamps, the heat tape, you got zip ties, you got other hose connections, got everything. It's a great setup that they gave you. Everything you're going to need to make this pretty perfect. I just got to be able to get this to be where it needs to be. Seems like it's about right. Again, you don't want to over tighten this stuff when you put it back together. We have updates. All right, so we are putting the low snorkel kit and the cold air kit on the 2025 CFMoto CForce 1000 from Hiisi products. This thing is going to be wicked when I get it all in. Now, I'm doing extra things. Things are not recommended in the instructions from Hiisi, but I am just doing a little bit of more than is recommended. This is me. It's not them. It's more than likely not even needed to do any of this stuff, but I'm just going the extra steps because, well, I'm a little bit crazy, I guess. All right. So as you can see, down in here, I added the silicone around the connection. I also just added this water seal tape. All right, I added this right here, all in here. The heat shrink tape, they give it to you. They recommend that you put it on here because this is the exhaust right here. That's the exhaust right there. That's the header coming off, and you can see more of it down in there, right in there. That's more of it, and then it comes up, and it also rests on the head a little bit right in here, as you can see, and then it comes out and then goes right in here. Now, I did pop the seat in here. All right, I'll tell you what, it fits a little bit more snug than it did with the seat. All right, it goes on, it clips on no problem. All right, but it's definitely a little bit more snug. It probably has something to do with the way that it goes into here now, which is fine, but it's definitely a little bit more snug. Now we're going to continue on with what I think is the secret sauce of this entire kit, and it is this connection right here. For this next step, they want you to do a couple different things. We're going to be connecting this connection in here, like I said, which I think is the secret sauce for this whole system is this connection right here. But then they also want you to install the pipe coming off of this. So you got a fitting that goes on here, and then the pipe. This is your inlet for the air box, which this right here really gives you the power from this whole cold air intake. You get this ported the way that it needs to be. With fresh, cold, clean air coming into this thing, it'll just be so much better for the way that this machine runs, especially if you have an upgraded air filter in here. Just going to be awesome. So right now we're going to connect this, and then we're going to put in the fitting and the pipe for this right here. Hiisi gives you the hose clamps for the fitting and everything that you need to go on here. So get this hose clamp set up, get this pipe in. It goes in with the zip tie connection. Goes up here, goes on top. This is actually, it's got a little bit of a shape to it, so it's going to slide in here. Again, you do not want to over tighten any of this stuff. I actually might spin that. Yeah, I'm going to spin this because it looks like this hose clamp takes up a little bit too much space. Remember, you have your cover, your side cover that goes on here. So I'm going to take my hose clamp, I'm going to flip it up this way. Got your side cover that goes on here, and it looks like it is not very big, but it's got some weird spacings to it because it's got those weird angles. There we go, that's in. Got that. There you go. Now your next step here in the instructions from Hiisi, we're going to be installing the fitting and the cold air intake for your air box. So we just loosen that up, and it looks like this. This kind of comes off. There is a connection down here for it as well. So you got a bolt that's down in here, and then the hose clamp. So we're going to get that bolt off right there. And it looks like, just like everything else, it's a, yep, 10 mil 10 mil gets that off. There we go, 10 mil. That pops right off. Next step, according to the instructions, we have got to install this. Now you do need the original hose clamp off of the tube that you took off here, so we're definitely gonna need that. One thing I think I'm gonna do is use a heat gun and try to get this warmed up, because this stuff is a little, it's not bad. I'm not sure what it is. It looks, I mean, it's rubber, but it also kind of might look 3D printed. So we're going to get this on a heat gun and try to get it warm. Try to get it warmed up a little bit. See if it'll stretch. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit better. Fitment's really tight. I don't know if I got to take that gasket off or not. I'd rather not, but gotta leave that there. Might go. All right, so it looks like you have got to take that rubber gasket off to get that on. So this is the rubber gasket on there. Much rather leave that gasket there, but it doesn't appear that it wants to fit it. Again, you do not want to go too tight with this stuff. I'm going to repeat that 10,000 times. There's no need. Just make it as tight as it needs to be. Make it any tighter, you're going to break it. Yep, that's solid. It's on there. Now we'll install this tube right here for my outlet, my clutch box outlet, and then the inlet for the hose. We'll put that one on. So we have two different length hoses here that are going to be going for the CVT outlets. So the clutch box outlet, and then the inlet for the air box. So this is going to be your outlet, and this is going to be your inlet for your air box. So this one goes up top according to the instructions. This is the shorter one that is going to be going here, and then the longer one goes down on the bottom and connects right here. Now again, my setup, I believe, is going to be a little bit different. So now we're going to install the tubes. This is your inlet for your air box, and that's your outlet for the clutch box. So we're going to put the tubes on that. So we got a supplied hose clamp from Hiisi. So I'm going to put that on here. Work with the curvature of the hose. Makes things so much better. Just use a ratchet. Just use a ratchet or a screwdriver, whatever. Don't use a drill or torque or anything like that. There's no need. You're going to break everything. All right. You can get everything as tight as it needs to be just with a ratchet. You can actually feel everything tighten right up, and the fitting compress in there. Pretty neat. Yeah, that's on there real good. This is installed, the secret sauce connection right here. That's all in. We have got the pipe for the inlet for the air box. That's all in. You have got to use the original connection, or I'm sorry, original hose clamp for that. That's right there. They supply all the other ones. They supply these two and this one right here. Now, mine is going to be a little bit different. If we come around to the other side of my machine, normally, like I said, this pipe is going to terminate down in here. They have it pointed kind of down in the instructions, but mine is going to come out somewhere in here out the side panel. I am going to have a stealth snorkel. This is going to be my outlet. It's going to come out on the side panel right here. So far we have got the outlet for the clutch box in along with the air box inlet in. So now we got to jump over and do the inlet for the clutch box. So we did one side, now we got to jump over to the other side. According to the instructions, that's about where we are right now. So we have to do remove CVT inlet pipe and then install CVT outlet connectors. So we have to jump back into our box of fun here and start taking some stuff out and putting some stuff in. So we got to jump over, we got to take this pipe out. All right, so we're going to be doing the inlet now for the CVT box, for the clutch box. So it looks like we take this connection off right here. I already got it loose, and then we got one plug up in here. It's just a, like your plastics plug. Looks like it's gonna be a battle to get this thing off. All right, so we got the tube out right here. Now there's some tricky things with this, so we'll go over that right now. All right, to get this tube out, you have got a connector that goes in here. This plug, that right there, goes into, you see my finger, get the camera up there, here you go, goes right into there, okay? And then this wire connector right here is in this spot right here, and you have to get everything disconnected before you can take it out. I also took off this part. All right, that is the boot that I'm going to need to put back on, coming off of my CVT inlet. Also, what I did, a little bit of a trick, it took me a minute to figure out, is that I went through the wheel well to be able to get the tube itself out. I went in through the wheel well, I took the screws out in here and then went down. I just went right straight down with the hose, with the tube, to be able to get it out. So after you get it all disconnected and all that, I just popped through the fender, the inner fender plastic, and just went right straight down and pulled it right out. That seemed like the easiest way to get it than trying to fight all up and through here and all that kind of stuff. Just go right straight down. It came out. All right, so we got this all set up. I got it cleaned up. I wrapped it with some new tape, some heat tape, because your exhaust is right here. I mean, it's gonna be hot. I got that back on. I don't have anything clamped up yet. Here is the new piece of plastic that goes on here. It's very, very similar to the old one, only it doesn't come up as high. Now it does look like the best way to get it back in is to go through the wheel well. So I still got my plastics all on hooked here. So I'm gonna throw this in here. I'm gonna try to sneak it in the plastics here. I'll probably go down and then back up and get it all connected. I am in here on that rubber bushing in here. I'm gonna throw a little bit of white lithium grease just to make sure I can slide that in real easy. It doesn't look like it's gonna be too difficult, but I'll throw a little grease on there just so it pops in. We got this all in, got the clamp, the original clamp that was there. This clamp, I need to tighten that up. We got to put this part on. This is the part that's going to come out. The hood that's connected up in front of your dash. So that'll be connected something like that-ish in there. It'll pour it out right there. So just a couple more connections, and then we do the scariest part for me, and that is going to be cutting the hood on the top. Hiisi recommends this right here for your cutout, right? So I kind of sketched out sort of kind of what I'm looking at as far as distance. I kind of used some of the lines that's on the plastic. So I use this line and this line here, and kind of, you know, almost looks like a bug or a transformer face or something like that. So we're going to cut out that. I figure there's enough room in here to come up a little bit higher. Yeah, because it connects way down low, and then way out here is where it connects. So we should be good cutting that out. So we're going to take the old roto zip, go to town. There you go. We got this back in. Tell you what, this little bit difficult to get in, mainly because of this tubing, this piece of tube right here. It's just got a weird shape to it. What I ended up doing, I had already taken off the screens in here. All right. The bolt connections, the bolt holes, or I'm sorry, the bolt risers that are in here, you got to cut off the inside ones. If you don't do that, these won't fit. So plan on taking these things off. They become obsolete anyway, because everything is up top anyway. So, I mean, if you want to keep them on so you can't see through it, I mean, you could probably fab it up, whatever you want to do. Yeah, this whole thing, little difficult getting it back on. What I do recommend is if you reconnect this stuff, just so everything is kind of lined up when you're trying to get the dash itself relined up with the hood plate there. Get these bolts in. Get some of these bolts in. You can get these ones down here back in, and both sides. It really helps with trying to get all this lined up. It took me 2-3 times to try to get it to where it was. I ended up actually cutting out a little bit more all the way around. I do have my line where everything goes. I got my bolt marks right here to where I know that the screws go in. The top screws come way out here. The bottom ones are just going to catch it down in here. So we should be all right, because remember, the air comes in from the top. I don't love the way that this is squeezed down, but it should be all right. The way the air gets sucked in from the top. So we should be good. So now I'm going to take the hood itself right here and get this on. We'll get it all straightened up, get it all straight where it needs to be, get it all bolt on, and then we will get to that bad boy over there. We got this all set up on here. We got 2 different kinds of screws. So we got a Phillips right here. That is going to be the bottom one. So I'm going to attempt to put that in right now. That went pretty easy. I like that. Top one is a T10 right here. And I don't know if I can... No, I'm not going to be able to get that in there. So we're going to have to figure out how we can get that in there. That's all done. That's in. Snorkel kit is complete. The cold air intake from Hiisi products, all in, all complete, all buttoned up. The low model snorkel, all in, all complete, all buttoned up. That is all awesome. That is great. Very cool that's in. One last thing that I need to do, and I gotta tell you, it's kind of terrifying me. There's one last thing that I'm planning on doing. This right here, this goes in here. Okay, this is supposed to go in here, but it's also supposed to go in the side of here, right here. Okay, I know it's not flat, I know it's not perfectly even. We have got on order, we have got a piece of foam rubber to go in between here as just like a gasket and all that kind of stuff, but drilling that hole absolutely terrifies me, because putting that up in here and having it be right there, man, that's scary. That's super scary. But so the ring is a little bit bigger than that, so might actually be pretty good right there. All right, kids, let's do a pilot hole. Oh God. All right, well, no turning back now. I ruined everything. It's all been ruined. Now I gotta find my hole saw. Hole saw acquired. My shop isn't very big. It's about 23 foot long and 12-ish or so foot wide. The amount of stuff I lose in here on a daily basis is just absurd. All right, let's see if we can ruin this. See? And that's why we go slow, kids. Here it is. We got a hole. I don't know what I did with the thing. Let's see if it fits. You know, because it needed to be on the other side of the shop. Oh boy. Oh, needs to be bigger for the threads. Oh no. So I screwed up, which is not surprising, but it took me a long time to screw up though. Like I did this whole thing not really screwing up anything until I got to the one part that I was most excited about, and then I screwed up. So my hole is too small because you put it in and the threads, well, the threads won't go in the hole, and I can't bolt that on. So here's what I'm gonna attempt to do. I got my, it's a sanding bit here. I'm gonna try to sand it off. I don't need much, so I'm gonna try to sand off a little bit as I go and check it as I go. Like that. And try to get just enough to get those threads in. Closer. Bigger should be faster, right? No. I can definitely thread it in now. Threading it in might actually kind of be kind of neat. I want to thread that in. That way it doesn't bounce around. Oh, maybe I want to thread that in so it doesn't bounce around till I hit something and it breaks the whole thing. We can get this piece on. Maybe we'll try that. Maybe we'll try threading it in and then seeing if it'll work as a threaded piece, you know, because we screwed up and maybe we made it better. Maybe we did. I don't know. Well, let's try that. Let's go with a, hey, now it's threaded. That's cool. Hey, we improved it. All right, so we're back over here at the machine now. We're going to actually see if this piece is going to work. I don't know if it's gonna. I do need to grab my hose clamp over there, but like, I just want to see if, hey, that slid right in there. Huh. All right, so the hose is fighting me a little bit to get it back connected. Might be better maybe if I turn this down a little bit. Let's try turning that down. I spun it down a little. See if that worked a little bit better. So goes in there, there. Yep. Clipped in. That's in. That's there. Let's see what this bad boy looks like. Heck yeah. I don't hate that at all. That is pretty neat. So there we go. I think I might keep it just like that. That's pretty wicked. There it is. My idea come to fruition. That's a big word. I don't know what it means, but it worked. There we go. We're done. I like it. Now we just need to put the plastics back together and see how this boy comes together. We have got the Hiisi products cold air intake along with the Low Model Snorkel kit on my 25 CForce 1000. First trip. All right, we just took it out of the garage a little bit. Gonna go around the yard. It is snowing. It's been snowing. It's cold out. It's like 25 degrees or something like that. So obviously I can't do anything with the belt temp or whatever. It's not really going to register at all being this cold out, but I can definitely get a feel for what's happening. There is more noise. I hear more noise, like more motor sound, you know, with the with everything being right there. Do definitely have some air coming out of that belt box, which is kind of cool, but it's aimed real low, so it'll, like in the summertime, it'll, I don't know, it'll blow out pretty good, I think. It shouldn't bother me too much. Should have put gloves on. That would have been smart. I guess I never claimed to be smart, have I? Nope, I haven't. Definitely tight up in here. Like there's a decent gap in here, which I guess I can show later on, where the airbox is. I can feel how hot my belt is. Be a nice little hand warmer, I guess. That's cool. I like that a lot. There we go, full install on the cold air intake and the low model snorkel kit on the CFMoto CForce 1000. All in all, probably about a 2-hour project. It's not too bad to put it in. If you're willing to do a little bit of cutting, a little bit of modding, it's not really all that difficult. I had this thing up here. I did add this. This doesn't come with the kit. This is my own little outlet vent for the low model snorkel kit. That's my own little thing. I do have to thank Villy from Vante Verico for the suggestion and the help on this. And of course, the guys at Hiisi Products for sending me this. Very cool of you guys. I can't do anything with the heat right now to tell you how the temps are gonna be because it's cold. It's like 20 degrees here in upstate New York. Once the weather starts getting warmer, I will do another review on how the temps are and all that kind of stuff. But very awesome, very cool. Thanks guys for checking it out. If you do have questions, comments, and all that, put them down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. It's cool, it's awesome. Guys, check it out.